Hello. I'm just trying to find the video here. Okay, but I don't have my volume off, so. Hello, Jim Hustleman. I'm going to give it a minute and see if we have anybody else come in. Can you see me okay?
I was just making sure I wasn't on the wrong one.
Yeah, you're on the right one.
Okay.
I have two little eyeballs. Hello, everyone. I'm Vicki with GNR Design, and I am going to be working on a cemetery saddle tonight. When you come into the video, if you would say hi, leave me a comment so I know who's watching. I'm kind of dragging my feet here a minute to see if I get some other people joining me. So I'm getting everything in place, kind of. I see Jim Hustleman, and that's it. If you would, when you come into the video, leave me a comment so I know who's on here with me. Because if I don't see a comment, I can't tell who's watching me. But anyway, if you come in, you can watch the replay. I'm working on a cemetery saddle. This is something for my dad that I found out I needed to make at the last minute, so I thought I'd just go ahead and do it live. If you guys have not worked on saddles before, they come on a wire frame like this. I'll show you a blank one. Well, this is a green one. Sort of like this. And this one is a little bit smaller. It has the ends turned up and you just stick the foam down on it. So I've already got my foam, it's just styrofoam, cut to the right size, and you push the foam down on the frame. So now I'm going to go back through it though and put some greening pins on it just to make sure it stays in place. I see two eyeballs, but I don't know who's out there. Welcome. I'm just going to put some hot glue on these. Make sure they stay in place. If you can't see me, let me know and I'll adjust the camera. I'm just going, hi Patsy, down the back of the frame and putting some pins with some glue in here to make sure this foam doesn't come off. How are you, Patsy? I am working on a cemetery saddle for my dad. Okay, so I gotta put a couple more just to be safe. You know, when these are on a headstone, they're exposed to the wind and all the elements, and we don't want things blowing out. Thank you. Okay, well, I haven't done this before, so if I mess up, just forgive me. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do, hi, I see 5 eyeballs. When you come into the video, if you'd say hi, I know who's watching. Hi, Fran. I just saw Fran pop up. This is, it's not really a leather leaf. That's what I typically use on the saddles, is a leather leaf fern. but it's very similar. And this one is a little bit fuller, so I'm going to use it for the base. So give me a minute, I'm going to cut this apart. And I've done them before where I used mesh on the bottom, but I'm not doing this one that way. Let me cut this up a little bit. How are you, Fran? You guys know how nervous Facebook Lives make me. So bear with me. I see 6 eyeballs. Welcome, everyone. I don't know how much of this I'm going to need, so I'm just cutting. Okay, so some of these fern leaves are smaller than the other ones. As the plant, as it gets into closer to the center, they get smaller. So I'm going through and finding the longer ones, and I'm just going to make a base around the bottom of the saddle and put these all the way around. So these have to go in quite a ways. Now sometimes I pick them, but this has got a pretty good stem. I don't think it'll have to be. We'll see. If I feel differently about it, I will come back and put picks on the rest of them. It's gonna be long. You know how nervous they make me, Fran. But gosh, it's always worse when you haven't been live in forever. And I haven't. But I had to do this, so I thought, why not? So, like I said, I'm just going to put this all the way around the base of this saddle. Trying to find a shorter one. It kind of makes like a skirt. What's the weather like in Florida, Fran? It has rained here all day. It's been really wet this year. So I got all these other flowers laying over here, and I'm not sure exactly which ones I'll use. Thank you, Fran, for sharing. So if you guys follow my page, I created a new Facebook group. It's called GNR Design VIP Customer Group. And it's for customers or friends that would like to be included in new product launches. There'll be special coupon codes, special things like that. So if you'd like to go over and join that group, that'd be great. Facebook's really big on groups right now, so seemed like a good idea. So here's what we're ending up with on this side. See, it's just going to be greenery all the way around. Too hot already, 92. It's been like in the 80s most of the time, and then today it jumped down to like the 50s. It's awful. This is one of the longer ones, so I'm going to use it on this side. these stems will bend really well. And I've got a bunch more greenery I can add in. Yeah, we have had so much rain, it's not even funny. I can't even let Ollie play in the backyard most of the time. Seven eyeballs, welcome everyone. When you come in, if you would say hi, I could see who's watching me. But welcome. If you're not familiar with my page, my name's Vicki. The business name is GNR Design, and I am working on a cemetery saddle. So you guys ready for a long weekend? Got big plans. Glue. Okay, let me see how much I can get off of here. See, and then at the top of this, the stems are, there's only a few leaves on it, so I'll use that for filler. So how many of you watching are wreath makers? I know Fran is. I've been seeing some of your new designs. They look wonderful. Where did I get this? This is a Lazy Susan that I had on my dining room table for years and just don't use it anymore. And it works great when you're working on something like this. Yeah, it was part of our dining room table. I think you can buy them though, or something similar at like Walmart. I've seen them around. So I'm using quite a bit of glue on this because, you know, this is going to be out in the wind. And if I don't feel like it's full enough, I'll go back through with some different greenery, which I don't think it's going to be. Fran, are you getting excited for Wreath Makers Live? I'm going to use some of these little short ones. Okay, I'm just going back through and filling in where I see I've got some holes. And I've got a ton of glue strings. Ugh. They're like spider webs. Okay. So here's the base. We just made a skirt sort of with the greenery all the way around. And you can use any kind of greenery really. I mean, typically I use, like I said, the leather leaf fern, but you could use ficus leaves or whatever. It's just something to give it a nice base. I'm trying to see over it. Okay, so here's my plan. I've got 2 different sizes of sunflowers. My mom is good. She's back home. My uncle is not so good. We're just waiting to hear how he's doing. So we had, last weekend we had, or maybe it was 2 weekends ago, my mom, my uncle, and my aunt, all 3 in the hospital at the same time. And mom had pneumonia. My uncle is not well. My aunt is better, but they did release mom and send her home. And I'm just waiting to see how my uncle is. And then my cousin, who is his daughter, ended up having to have surgery as well. So it's been a mess. So anyway, back to the sunflowers. They're different sizes, so I'm going to use a few of these great big ones and then a few more of the smaller ones. And the leaves are falling off, figures. And then I'm going to fill in with some roses, red roses. What do you think? Yellow and red? My dad really liked red or yellow. And then I've got a bunch of other stuff that I'm going to use for greenery and filler throughout. So it's going to end up being a pretty big saddle. And then if I need to, I'll come back through with some other stuff, you know, to fill in. So let me cut some of these off. These, I want to tell you what size these heads are. Usually when I do a saddle, I try to get, you know, a flower that's a big head, because, at least some of them, because it takes up more room and you don't have to use as many flowers. This one is like a 7-inch head. And that's going to be way too big. So let me cut some of this down. So I'm leaving the leaves on them because it's going to help fill in between the flowers. Just, it's good filler. I don't know why glue strings bug me so much, but they drive me crazy. So we're starting with the big sunflower right in the middle. Can y'all see okay? All 5 of you? I appreciate you being here. There's really no rhyme or reason. I mean, you just can make these to your liking, what you think looks good, what your customer likes. But what I try to do when I'm making them is my center row and then kind of mirror this side to this side. So that's my plan. Patriotic rag bows. Ooh, cool. I want to see. That sounds neat. I've seen those rag bows floating around everywhere. They look so cool. I've not tried one. Alright, let me cut a few of these off. As big as these are, I don't think I'll put too many of the big ones in. Yeah, you need to do a live on that, Fran. Show me how to do it. Yeah, I'm looking.
Getting ready to.
Yeah, do
Oh,
that.
you already seen that?
Yeah. Okay, so this is what I'm doing. Let's see. I don't want it to get too tall. Cut that off a little more. These are some fat stems.
You need me to cut them?
No, I got them. So as you're making a saddle, you know, you want it to kind of taper down. So that's why I'm putting them where I'm putting them. You kind of get your outline and then fill it in from there. These are fat. These sunflowers came from, the big ones came from Sims Pottery, and the smaller ones from Hobby Lobby, which they're really, I like the quality of those. And then the red roses came from Hobby Lobby. And I don't know, the greenery from miscellaneous places.
They're
My
probably
dad
gonna
likes
say they seen a
sunflowers.
monster in the camera behind you.
Do what?
So they're probably gonna say they seen a monster in the camera behind you.
Were you behind me? I didn't even know you came behind me.
Yeah.
See, I'm so focused on my work. I didn't even know he was over here.
You were just awesome.
I was busy. Okay, now I'm gonna put a few of these in. Well, these have got some fat stems. I may have to pick these. I got 7 eyeballs. Welcome, everyone. Not sure who's on here besides Fran, but welcome to GNR Design. I'm working on a cemetery saddle and playing with sunflowers.
I'm working on your wheel.
And the hubby's working on my wheel. Got to do another bicycle wheel. So when you come in, say hi. Okay, so these sunflower heads are much smaller, as you can tell. These measure about 4.5 inches. So I'm just getting a base. Way too long. I'm leaving the greenery on. And comments have stopped, so I don't know if it's technology or just it's trying to catch up. So I'm kind of measuring these as I go along because, you know, every one of them is going to be a little bit different length. What? Fun.
Last one I see was Fran's comment.
Yeah, I told her she needs to show me how to make those. Hello, Barbara. Welcome.
Fran says you're good.
I'm good. Okay. Thank you, Barbara. Yeah, when I get this last sunflower in here, I'll show you so you can see, get a better look at it. Because it's hard to get the camera in a good spot where you can really see what I'm doing. And I'm just measuring, like I said, each stem so I can kind of get an idea how long I need them.
You want me to raise it up some so it points farther down on you?
No, honey, it's good. It's good. Okay, so here we've got the base. Let me tip it up. Lots of holes in there, right? So I will come back through with more sunflowers probably after I add some roses. But I'm going to get some filler in there and then we'll take it. I think I'll go ahead and put one more sunflower on each side. And then I'll add my roses. No, this is not for an order. It is for my dad. I thought I had flowers already made for his grave, but I go down or send one of the kids every Memorial Day to put flowers on his grave, and apparently I don't have any already made. My mom said I didn't have any already made. So I said, uh-oh. So no, they are for my personal use. I had 2 of these made. These things sell pretty good for me. I had 2 made in my Etsy shop, not like this, different style, and they're both gone. Okay, so I added 1 more to each side. Now we're going to start adding some roses. So I think the roses are about the same color, but they're kind of 2 different styles. This one's closed a little bit more and these are more open. They're pretty much the same color, so I'm going to add these first because, like I said, they're bigger and they will fill in better. Get these little tags off here. And I'm just going to cut a bunch off. I don't have a lot of room over here, it seems like. Somehow I keep getting running out of room. Okay. Now I'm just going to come back between these. Let's be a little bit shorter. And I'm going to just start placing my roses between my sunflowers. Trying to keep that tapering going. Oh, do you? You make them for each season? That I know a lot of people that do. I have some that I switch out. That's already at my dad's buried in Kentucky, and my mom lives down there, so you know I can switch the ones for each season. They're already down there. But that's what these are for. I usually make them for my dad and my grandma. It's always a little more special when you're making them for a loved one, right? It's been cold enough here, I had to turn the heater on in my garage today. That's just not right. I mean, it's almost June here. What's going on? Indiana. I'll show you what I've got in just a minute. I see 7 eyeballs. Hello everyone. If you would leave me a comment, I know who's watching. Welcome. Say hi. Okay. Then I'll spend an hour going through and trying to pull all the glue strings off. So here's the top. I think the red looks pretty with the yellow. And now I'm going to come back through with some of the smaller roses and just kind of hit the bottom area. And then I've got some greenery. These go pretty fast. But what I like about the smaller ones is they've got a little white flower on them. And I wanted something to kind of lighten it up a little bit. So I'm going to try to find those, the ones with the little white. Thank you. And when you pick your flowers on these, I have found, and Barbara, you probably know if you make these, they go faster if you get flowers, hi Sharon, that are a big head, because it takes up, more room, which means less that you have to add. $105 in Atlanta. Oh wow. I know there's a lot of states it's been, I guess it was Oklahoma, getting a lot of bad storms. Ugh. We've had quite a few storms, but not anything like that. Girl, you're gonna need to stay in the air if it's gonna be that hot. Now on these, I like to get as much of that greenery as I can because it's a good filler. 105, man, I can't believe that. Okay. Now I'm probably going to keep these more towards the edge to fill in, where where there's a hole. And I'll show you as I go along. I keep looking at my phone and forgetting that I need to look at the camera. Sorry, you guys. $90 in Virginia. It was 50 here today, and I'm not happy about it. But it's supposed to be back up in the 80s in the next day or two. We have had so much rain. My backyard is still just a mud hole. It's terrible. We usually go to my mom's for Memorial Day, but I don't know this year if that's the plan or not. All these relatives that are not well. I'm waiting to see what happens. So. Global warming, right? Yeah. I know. I'll tell you what, Indiana's weather has changed incredibly in the last few years. It's crazy. It's, it's just a few days this year been warm in May, and then in November it'll probably be, when it's supposed to start cooling off, it'll probably be in the 80s when I'm trying to cook a turkey. Crazy. Alright, now I'm still going to add some more of these roses. Here, I'm going to show you what I got. So you see the top. Blue strings everywhere. I really like the yellow and red. Now, I've got this kind of gap right in here. So I'm going to bring some of these roses out a little bit so they're kind of out on the greenery. That's my plan anyway. Let's see how that goes. Thank you, thank you, thank you. These usually go pretty quick. Oh, that's way too long. Unless I get carried away and don't stop, which I do sometimes. Okay, need a few more. Snowing in Denver. Oh, I did see that. That's crazy. I'm telling you, the weather is so weird. Snowing in Denver and tornadoes in Oklahoma. Weird, crazy weather. Let's get one more. Okay. So as I cut these off, when I could, there was multiple pieces of, the greenery, the leaves, and I'm just pushing them up so that they're all on the stem closer to the rose because it helps with filler. It's really long. Trying to open it up good. Maybe one more right there. I have 7 people. Welcome, everybody. I know I've got Fran and Barbara. I'm not sure who else is on here. Jim. So that's the trick to these, in my opinion, is trying to get that, gradual slope and to not get it too high. And I got this one pretty high, but it'll be all right. Hi, Dina. How are you? I bet it's hot in Texas. I'm just trying to see if it's even here, you guys. There we go, right there. Then I've got some more greenery and some more white flowers I'm going to come back through with. And fill in some more holes. I appreciate you guys all hanging out with me. So one of the reasons that I wanted to do the live tonight, other than to do the live in my dad's saddle, was to let you all know that I have a new Facebook group. It's very small. It is for, and Dina, I think you joined the wrong group because one of them I had to close because I'm an amateur and I did it all wrong, so I had to do a different one. Oh well. Anyway, it is for VIP customers and friends, special product launches and coupon codes and discounts. So if you want to go over and join that group, that would be great. Make sure you tell all your friends about it. And Facebook is really pushing groups these days. So I got a group. Alright, here's what we've got. Now I've got a lot of holes down in here. before I add any more red, I've got some of this white. Thank you, Dina. I don't know what this stuff is. I don't know what the name of it is, the correct name of it. But it will make a really good filler, and I'm going to come back through and try to fill in the holes through the top and on the sides, and then I've got more greenery. So, that's my plan. On these, I have to kind of push them all up because, I mean, you're not going to see it much the further down it is. So let me cut a few of these off. And we'll see how many I need. I shouldn't need too many. I like these because they're, you know, they're bushy and they take up space. They don't slide very good though. Thank you, Fran. Yeah, I was surprised. I don't know what hit me. My dad was always big on yellow. And I don't know what enticed me to try the red with it, but I think it looks good together. I like it. He liked roses. It always means a whole lot more when you're doing it for somebody, you know, special. Alright, let's see how far we get with this. I got quite the mess over here. So I always try to spin my greenery and open things up and fluff it out so, you know, it looks a little more real. This has got like several different greenery pieces that slide up and down the stem, so you can kind of arrange it and open it up, make it look more real. So, okay. Seems like this thing is going to get taller than me here in a minute. I'm going to be on my tiptoes trying to finish it. Sometimes I do, yeah. We usually spray everything, especially something like this that you know is going to be in the sun or in the elements all the time, with a Scotch Guard, like a UV protected. I usually spray all the wreaths with it too, except for the boxwoods. I don't have to really spray those because all that greenery is plastic. And unless I've got a bow or something special on it, then I spray them. But these I will, yes, absolutely. These are pretty easy to make. They go quick. That spraying thing, that's Jim's department. He sprays them and he ships them. And he needs to come turn off my heat. So if y'all see him pop in there, time to come turn my heater off. Making sure I still got plenty of this. He must have heard me. My right-hand man. Yeah, I like the. Okay, so this is how it's looking with the white in. See, it makes it look a little bit more airy. I like the white. Hi, honey.
Hello.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Hello, everybody.
He's just passing through. I keep trying to get him to.
Listening.
I keep trying to talk him into doing a wreath on a live, and He ain't buying it. I'll bet you this November, when I get really busy, he's gonna be cutting ribbon. Get that out of my live.
That's Ollie's fish.
Are the white ones from, they are from, no, these are, I believe, from Michael's. These came from Michael's, the tag's still on it. If I could find my little bitty scissors, there. Cut this off. Yeah, they came from Michael's. They are, it says a Gerber bush. But you know what? I've probably had these a couple years. I don't know when I got them, so I don't know. I'm sure they still carry something similar, probably every year, because these are kind of a staple, you know. They are, you know, the Ashland collection. They're part of that. But I like the way they fill it in. Will probably end up using them all. We'll see. They're just not real easy to slide on that stem. But that's alright, I'll get it. I want to keep my leaves because they help fill it in. Okay, around to the back side. I know you can't, I'll turn it around in a minute. I know you can't see this side. You know, I need to figure out a better way to do my cameras. Okay. If you just take the time to separate these a little, it does make a difference. This one's a fat stem. Okay, I need a couple more in the top. Here's what we've got so far. See how bringing these out kind of blended it all together? I still see a few holes in the top, but it's filling up pretty good. And then I've got a bow, which I'm never sure if I like a bow in these or not. Sometimes, but this one's got sunflowers on it. I already made it, and I may go ahead and put it in. I haven't decided. Two more. These are really good fillers. Okay, what do you think? Filled in pretty well. I may come back through the bottom and add a little bit of greenery. But for the most part, I think it's pretty full. Now I have to decide if I want this bow in here, so y'all tell me what you think. I'm not gonna glue it. And then we can decide. We can talk about this. I already made it. What I liked about the bow and thought maybe this time it would work was the color of the ribbon and the sunflower pattern. So we will see. I don't like that tail there. I'm just trying to spread the loops out a little bit and see where I like them. And then I'll decide if I want to keep it or ditch it. You don't think it needs the bow? I kind of thought that too. But I kind of like it now. I don't know. We'll see. Y'all tell me what you think. It could use a little more placing better. I've even sometimes just put tails, ribbon tails in different places. Okay. Yes bow or no bow? Trying to see if I can show it on the camera well. I think if I leave the bow, I'm going to have to put one on the other side too. And I'm not really liking it. Okay. What do y'all think? I think no. I may put ribbon tails to it, but I don't know. Right now I don't like it. But I'm going to put one more white piece right in here. No bow? Yeah, I didn't like the bow. I ditched it. Now I got some of this really, I think this is like a maidenhair fern. I think I'm going to come back through with just a little bit of this around the bottom and anywhere, you know, I see a hole, just to kind of fill it in, because it's just real light and airy and it's a good filler. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to use the bow. I didn't care for it. So let me add a little bit of this in and it's done, I think. That's 7 eyeballs. Hey, welcome everybody. Cut this off here. This came from Hobby Lobby. And I will probably use it all. We'll see. I don't like to have holes. So that is my goal. I don't like to see that styrofoam. Let me add this piece and I'll turn it around so you can see the effect with this little fern. I'm not sure if you can get a close enough look on the camera to see how it changes things, but it does fill in, you know, the holes. See where I added the fern? I don't know if you can see it or not close up. I'm just going back through and add that in to fill in any holes anywhere I see them. I mean, it's pretty full, but I see a few spots. And with this, you know, when I get to this step, I'm not really trying to stay with the pattern. I'm just trying to fill in the holes. Because, I mean, by this point, you've got it pretty well covered. I don't have much left. I like any kind of greenery that's that light and airy, bushy kind of thing. It's tall enough, I'm having to get on my tiptoes to see the top of it. But I think it's pretty well filled up. What do y'all think? See, one spot, and of course I don't have any more of either ones. I'll have to find something to stick in there. Aha! Thank you, Barbara. I found one spot that I'm not pleased with, and I'm going to stick me a rose in there. You know, it always looks different from my angle. Probably nobody else would notice it, but it's for my dad. Alrighty. All done. Okay, is there any questions? Did I miss any comments? I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. It's a pretty fast project. They go pretty quick. I really like the fern that I used. I don't know if that's considered a leather leaf fern or not, but it worked really well, and it made a nice large saddle. So thank you guys for sticking with me. If you would, leave me, or share the video, leave me a thumbs up, and I'm going to sign off, and I will see you next time. Bye.